continue in Indiana, and they begin tonight north of the state line. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Friday Night Football Fever. I'm Pete Byrne.
And I'm Bennett Wise. The 6A and 5A schools in Indiana, well, they had last week off, but tonight the largest schools hit the field to begin their runs to Lucas Oil Stadium, Pete.
Yeah, Bennett, Elkhart won the Northern Indiana Conference this year. They finished the season with an 8-game winning streak, and their reward? Well, tonight they welcome powerhouse Snyder from Fort Wayne to Rice Field. A tremendous opening matchup. Elkhart going all black tonight, and we're going to pick up this game in the second quarter with Elkhart and Snyder tied at 7. Late second quarter, Snyder looking deep. The pass is picked off by Elkhart's Brennan Wicker near midfield. He would fumble, but there's his teammate, Nicholas Bosworth, recovers. So Elkhart's got a chance to get some points on the board before the half. They try a long field goal, sails wide left. So we head to halftime tied 7-all. To the third quarter, Snyder's going to the air. That's Aaron Vance looking to the end zone. He's got a man, Trevor Jarvis, in traffic for the score. Snyder takes a 14-7 lead, and that is where the scoring ends tonight. Snyder comes into Rice Field and knocks off Elkhart 14-7.
Also in 6A, Penn opened up postseason play at home against Lake Central. Kingsman up 14-zip in the second. Special teams, Vinny Freeman blocks the punt. Ball rolls just inside the 15-yard line. That's Penn football. First play after a holding call, J. Don Parker. Kid's got wheels. 24-yard dead sprint. It's 21-0. So fast, you can't see him. Next Penn drive, Brody Cashin starting at quarterback tonight, and Cashin D. Tayshawn Bardo. Ooh, spectacular touchdown grab. Coach Yeoman approved. Penn rolls 35-7 and will face Crown Point next.
Let's move to Class 5A now, where number 1 Concord opened up on the road tonight at Fort Wayne North, and the Minutemen were ready from the jump. First quarter, that's Bo Brunner, the quarterback, keeping himself. He's going down the far sideline for the touchdown, and Concord has a 7-0 lead. They're going to need him to be great if they want to make it all the way to Lucas Oil. I hear that's busy this weekend.
A little bit.
They're like a concert, music show or something. Anyway,
A couple of those.
Bo Brunner, man, lowering the shoulder, going in for 6 more. Concord wins tonight, 38-21.
Well, the hater's going to hate. In the meantime, Goshen or Warsaw for Concord, a pair of NLC foes. How about Tucker Reed? Smooth cut to the outside, 30-yard score, and Warsaw is up 14. A little later, Tigers pitches to the outside. Quentin Brock just finds the gap, ran too quick for the bodyguards. Just no blocking him, taking himself. 42-yard touchdown. Warsaw cruises into the next round, 52-7. Number 1 Concord awaits.
And in South Bend, Adams facing number 2 Lafayette Jefferson. Tough draw for the Eagles on opening night. Pick it up in the second quarter. They're down 34, and they were marching. Good drive going here until the pass is intercepted by Kavion Campbell. Lafayette Jeff takes over near midfield, and on the very next play, Keon Crowder is looking deep. He's got a man, Omar Williams, way downfield. It's a huge game. Bronchos in business, and a couple plays later, Marquise Atkins takes it into the end zone. Number 2, Lafayette Jeff handles Adams tonight, 62-7. Also in Class 5A, Sectional 10, Chesterton edges Michigan City in overtime, and Valparaiso beats LaPorte 35-7. All right, let's head to Class 4A now, where the playoffs kicked off last week, Bennett, and Mishawaka opened up with a hard-fought 23-10 win on the road at Northridge.
Yeah, the Cavemen play at home against a Plymouth squad that easily took care of Wawasee last Friday, but Mishawaka, well, they won against Plymouth 34-10 to help finish second in the conference table. Off to a textbook start tonight. Landon Snyder, quarterback keeper. He's got the sideline with space. He'll still dive for the pylon. 40-yard dash on the touchdown run. Cavemen on the board first in the defense, but forced Plymouth to punt. Low snap, and Joshua Sandy, first man to it. Mishawaka starts its second drive in prime real estate and takes just a couple plays for Snyder to do what really this offense does best and score rushing touchdowns. Mishawaka wins 41-14.
St. Joe and Northwood meeting in the 3rd year in a row in the sectionals. The Panthers sent St. Joe packing each of the last 2 years, but the Huskies hoping the 3rd time's a charm. But Northwood starts well on the road, already leading 3-0 in the second quarter. Lucas Kime puts it up, and DeAndre Monroe hauls it in for the touchdown. Northwood takes a 10-0 lead. So St. Joe needs a spark, and they get one following a turnover. This is Brady Lonergan, and that's a finalist for the highlight of the night. I don't need to explain why. tremendous catch moves the sticks and keeps the drive alive. And a little later, just before halftime, A.J. Lassane is going to put it up for the end zone. And James Cronetti hauls it in traffic. We got a ball game. St. Joe down 10-7 at halftime, and they would take the lead in the third quarter. But late in the fourth, Dominic DeFreitas kicks a tying field goal, and Northwood comes back to beat St. Joe in overtime, 20-13. So Northwood will host Mishawaka next week in the sectional title game. Speaking of good finishes, also in 4A, New Prairie scores in its final possession, gets a 2-point conversion, and beats Hobart tonight 15-14. They will host Hanover Central next Friday for the sectional. That takes care of 4A, 5A, and 6A, and we need to take our first time out. But when we come back, who will advance in classes 1A, 2A, and 3A? We'll have that, plus the playoffs kickoff in Michigan. Lots more highlights coming your way when Friday Night Football Fever returns.
You're watching Friday Night Football Fever on Fox Michiana, sponsored by Zolman's Tire and Auto Care.
Welcome back to Fever as our coverage moves to 3A, where two perennial favorites meet tonight on the gridiron.
Marion has won 7 sectional titles over the last 9 years, but it's kind of a drought going on to 7 and 9. That's a 2-year gap.
It's been a couple. Meanwhile, Jimtown, they've made it to the sectional title game in 4 of the past 5 years. Tonight, one of them will advance a step closer to Lucas Oil Stadium while the other packs it in for the year. Did we mention Lucas Oil Stadium was busy this weekend, I've been told? Music show going on. Well, Marion has the ball. There's Deuce Knight. Hi. He's the problem. It's him. All the way to the end zone. Marion, the opening score. Knights up 7-0. But Jimtown answers immediately, and I do mean immediately. Javin Jackson, not a Swiftie, but he is swift. The stiff arm bounces to the sideline and takes it 87 yards for a touchdown. That's a finalist for the highlight of the night, too, and we are tied at 7. And how fitting it is, because this game would go back and forth all night, but Marion wins a tight one, 34-26. And they will face Knox next Friday night. Knox with a win tonight over Griffith pretty handily. That game will be played at Knox for the sectional crown.
In sectional 26, Fairfield visiting West Noble for the second time this year. First quarter, Chargers on the move. Seth Pruitt. This kid's a freight train. Over 20 yards on the rushing score. West Noble takes the lead. Fairfield would get on the score sheet just before halftime. Brooks Custer sneaks it in with some help from the big fellows. The West Noble keeps its foot down, 56-22 Chargers.
And they will get the winner of tonight's game between Tippy Valley and Garrett. Tippy got behind early at home. In fact, they're down 14-0, but back they come, courtesy of Wes Parker, who spins and stays on his feet and then takes it all the way to the end zone for the touchdown. We got ourselves a ball game. It is 14-7. But Tippy still trailed, and they would have a hard time keeping pace with Garrett tonight or slowing down this guy, Cam Rubel, who goes in for his second touchdown of the night. Garrett wins it 42-13.
Heading to 2A, Bremen back at Bungie Field hosting Rensselaer Central. Second quarter, Lions up 7. Silas Ladig over the top, right in Luke Kincaid's breadbasket. Can't get more open than that. 20-plus yards on the hookup. Bremen goes ahead 21-7. Next drive. Before halftime, Ladig's like, you know what, Tyrus Graverson's down there somewhere. What a catch. Stays in bounds, gets down to the 1-yard line. Carson Anderson powers it in the next play. Bremen moves on, 38-7. Up next, Andrean for the sectional crown.
And also in Class 2A, Sectional 36, Rochester falls to Eastern tonight by 4. The Zebras' season comes to an end with a record of 8-3. In Class 1A, Triton hosting Southern Wells, and the Trojans would waste no time grabbing control on the home turf. First quarter, Vincent Prater was a workhorse. After a huge gain, he's going to rip off another one here, and that one ends with him celebrating for 6 in the end zone. It's 7-0 Trojans. Their defense is going to get him the ball right back. Take a look at this. Colton Reynolds, the one-handed interception. He would fall down, but the Trojans have the ball with great field position, and Dante Workman going to go to work right here. He's going to take it around the end for a touchdown. Triton rolls 61-6. They will head to North Miami for a sectional title game next Friday. And last but not least in Class A, North Judson a shutout win over Culver, and LaVille a shutout win over North Newton. LaVille will head to North Judson, #1 North Judson, next Friday night for the title.